Good evening and welcome to the Moose Christmas thing. I don't know what we'll call it. It's Christmas Day, or it's now evening of Christmas Day. Hopefully you're getting it the evening of Christmas Day. This is pre-recorded, so what I say now might have absolutely no relevance to what happens later on in the video. Such is life. It is customary at this time to sort of do a summary of the year, so we will. The year got off to a fairly bad start in February, wasn't it, when Vladimir Putin decided to invade Ukraine. This is an ongoing concern, and yeah, we can possibly look at things related to that and other issues throughout the world, and particularly interpersonal relations later. It's Christmas, it's time to look at those things. Moving swiftly on, we'll take a look at aviation. What has happened in the world of aviation? Trevor Jacob! It's all gone quiet. If you haven't heard of Trevor Jacob, yeah, Google him. Or even look on my channel where you will see, I think it's about 3 videos where we've had something to say about him. All quite exciting stuff, all gone very quiet. And what else has happened in aviation? Oh yeah, the drone has been up recently, and we went up to Halden and we flew around, and Ollie as usual forgot a memory card for his drone, so we only have my footage, which is brief and lumpy because we were playing rather than videoing and just happened to have the video running. But this is the whole old Halden airfield that was last used sometime in the 1960s, was the last takeoff. You can see the rough layout of it from the clip, and that's about it. But the news is that it might be reopened. I'm just going to let you think about that. I'm not saying by whom or for what. I'm just going to say it might be reopened within the next 5 years or so. Might be worth some research. I haven't done it. I've heard this from quite a reliable source. Interesting. We then come to the 2 major events of the year that are linked. One very, very happy and we all rejoiced, and one actually quite sad, and the whole world has shared in both our joy and our misery. We had the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. This is unheard of. 70 years on the throne. And yes, there are jokes to be made about that, but I'm not going to make them now. I went to Westbury and rang a quarter there, and we then went to another town that I've forgotten, nearby North Bradley, and we rang a quarter there, and that was fun. Got to meet Ringer Dylan, or no, he's called Kiwi Bell Ringer, isn't he? Dylan. Met Dylan in the flesh, and he is actually 3-dimensional. He is not a cardboard cutout. Was that the first time I met him? I think it might have been. Yes, it was. Also got to meet Michael Shaw, which was a pleasure, having spoken to him many, many times. But it was all part of this massive celebration, and the whole world partied, and it was great. And then in September, on September the 8th, having been kind of tipped off that something was up, we suddenly got this message that the Queen was being attended to by a doctor. It's not the first time it's happened, no great cause for alarm, I suppose. She's often being attended to by a doctor. And then quite quickly later, the news that the Queen had passed into immortality in that afternoon. There's a lot we could talk about there, about how this happened. Not just how this happened, but just how well prepared an awful lot of people who shouldn't have known about it were. And that includes most ringers. Yeah. The result was a state funeral, a period of mourning, and a new king. I don't I can't get used to that. A lot of people have said to me, we can't get used to this. We've always had a queen, just the one, and now we've got a king, and it's a bit strange. She will be greatly missed. She was quite an amazing lady. I don't necessarily agree with her whole lifestyle, but she was an amazing lady. She was a great asset to this country in most ways. Balance, yeah, it was a good thing. And that kind of brought the year to close with great sadness. Did make us forget about the 3 prime ministers we've had this year. I wonder how long this one will last. And that's kind of a summary of the year. Has anything been happening on the ringing front? Not a lot. Denbury bells are back, all 6 of them. Go and look in your doves, they were a 5. Clapper fell out at having been serviced 2 weeks after we serviced them. 6 clapper fell out. Metal fatigue, not paying to take. No one's going to pay to have the clappers taken out and have all metalwork X-ray, but that's the only way we'd have known. So these things happen. Okay, still on the subject of ringing. Lewis, Benfield Bells. Yeah, that's still the same Christmas tree, mate. It's still going, and it's going to be going for a good few years yet. It's difficult to think of anything else of any great importance. He says, nearly turning into a meerkat. The Devon Ringers Carol service was held for the first time in a church since 2019. It was held at King Stainton the other Saturday. We've got our organist back. He's come all the way down from Wales. Good old Win came along, and yeah, that was it. That was an interesting noise. I quite enjoyed that one. And that's about it. There's not a lot else to say. What's going to happen next year? Well, it's slightly more than just a pipe dream, but it looks actually looking quite probable that there will be money coming in. And if that money's coming in, the darkroom will be restored and rechemicaled. And a friend of mine and I are looking at colour processing of film. So that'll be a bit of excitement. There's quite a few other projects we've got in mind as well that don't necessarily include film, but sort of include electronics and computers and all sorts of stuff that we intend to have fun with, and hopefully I can convince him to appear on camera and share the fun with you. That's certainly about it. There'll be lots of drones if we do that. Lots of drones. We like drones. We like flying. We might even get real aeroplanes involved, but that's... Ooh, pardon me, just eaten. That's well down the list. So, wishing you all a very happy Christmas. Sleep it off over Boxing Day. That's the day when I'm actually going to do the washing and things. Be fit and ready for the new year. Another great party. Will we have a special video for that? Doubt it. And just remember the Ukraine and all the problems there, and the problems in the rest of the world, and even the problems within our own sub-communities, our friendship groups, come from the lack of the ability to be friends, the reaching for the block button or the ban button or whatever it's called, the failure to communicate, the failure to respect one another. And this was one thing that our dear late Queen seemed to be very keen on, was that we should respect one another, regardless of race, creed, class, sexuality, eye colour, left-handedness, or anything else that has been mentioned in past videos of mine, not necessarily on this channel. Why Christmas? I think it was last Christmas I looked at the social background behind the historical figure of Jesus. It's in there somewhere. It might not be last Christmas, but it certainly crops up in one of my videos. And if you wish to wear the Christian badge, and I know quite a few of you don't, but if you do wish to wear it, you need to watch those videos and you need to think about the questions raised which I leave unanswered. So let's all sober up, although I haven't had a chance to be unsober yet, and enjoy, hopefully, Hosanna, which is what you've all been waiting for. We'll see you again soon.